morning. Welcome to another house hunting vlog. Today I have my little mom hairdo. See the claw clip? I look like a mom when I'm in my hair clip. Very fitting though, because I'm about to be paying big bills. Not fitting though, because I'm not gonna have a kid soon. So not in that aspect, just that I'm gonna be a full-blown adult, which is crazy. Well, not that you have to be an adult to be a mom. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but we're gonna see 4 houses today. Also, I brought my little bear. I got this from my husband in a little Christmas basket, and I decided today it's gonna be our emotional support bear for the house hunting process, so I'm gonna keep him in the car. Give me name suggestions below. My voice is kind of scratchy because it's 10 a.m. in the morning and I didn't drink any water yet, so I didn't eat or drink anything yet. The only drink I have is this mini Sprite, but I don't really want to drink that right now. Also, I haven't told y'all this yet, but I'm back in Invisalign trays. Invisalign. Why did I say it like that? So I do have rubber bands in my mouth. If you ever see me talking and you see like little strings or you think it's spit, it's not. It's the little rubber band. Day 2, and the first house we went to see was one I was so excited for. I thought that this would be the one if it ended up looking good in person, but it did not turn out good at all, guys. I realized that I hadn't read the listing fully before we asked to see this house, but then when I did the night before, it said that there were structural issues and the house was actually falling down the slope of the hill. I didn't cancel the showing. I decided, you know what, let's just go see it just for fun because I love viewing houses. So we went. I liked this house because the split entry actually had a closet where you could put your jacket and shoes, and it had a bigger entry, plus it had like an outdoor foyer. It's kind of like a porch, I guess you could say. Not even a minute within walking into this house, we saw a cat. I was trying to show the entryway, but then I saw this little cute face pop up in between the railings, and he's so cute. He just like came up because I think he was just so lonely. He hadn't had attention in so long. He wanted to be like, oh, who's home? He had those cute little eyes like pulling you in, trying to charm you. But for now, we're gonna move on from the cat. I will tell the story time after we view the houses.
What the dog doing? What the dog doing? What the dog doing?
I actually really liked this house, but then when I looked in some of the closets, you could actually see the ceiling had snapped down, and so I knew that this was not something we want to deal with. I love the basement, I love the entryway, the spacing was pretty nice. It was just that one big issue, the structure issue, that I did not want to deal with because my realtor was telling me in order to fix that, you would have to pay somebody to go down and they'll lift the house up, but that wouldn't fix the cracks in the house. You would have to do that too. The sellers did put that it would cost about $35,000 just to lift the house up, and for the price range on this house, we did not want to put any extra work in it. But the neighborhood was amazing. I love the neighborhood. If it was perfect, I would have bought this house. House 2 was newly renovated. I think it was built originally in the 60s, so it is a little bit older, and I was a little wary about it because it was purchased by a flipper company, but I did really love the lighting in this house. I think you can kind of see for yourself how much lighting actually comes into this house. There were some small issues about this house, but every little house had its things, so I was trying to stay positive. The only one thing I really hated about this was the entryway because it was split level with no closet. Okay, so house 3 had that foyer and closet that I really liked, and the upstairs overall was very cute. The one thing I didn't like though was the living room was facing the south side, but there were no windows, so the lighting was kind of crap. There were some little things in the house that you could tell weren't taken care of very well, like this rusted sink.
What the dog doing?
And then once you went downstairs, you started to really notice some of the flaws. This house had been on the market for I think 200 days, which was really long and really weird. And even though they dressed it nice, you could tell that it had been vacated for a really long time. There were spider webs everywhere, and in the rooms there were some wood chips on the floor. We don't know what they were. Also, the windows were kind of drafty and old. But I will give it to them, they did a really nice job dressing the house to try to make it look appealing for the buyers. Story time about how I helped rehome an abandoned cat. I'm so glad that we went to go look at that house, even though it had structural issues. In the back of my mind, I knew that we weren't going to get this house. I still wanted to see the house for some reason, and I feel like this was meant to be because we saw the cat, and I kept thinking about the cat because I'm an animal lover. The first house we went to see, there was a cat living in the house, and the owners left the cat there, which is so terrible. I'm not even sure how often they're going to actually feed the cat. When we walked into the house, he came up the stairs because he was so socially deprived, I think. And so he wanted us to pet him and all that. Imagine you are a cat or a dog, or just even you are you, and somebody owns you. They force you to stay in the house with no furniture, nothing, and maybe they only check up on you. I don't even know how often they're checking up on him, but he looked a little skinny. I don't know, in the films you could probably see it. So sad. Don't get a pet. Y'all do not deserve pets. Not even my husband is a fan of cats, but he felt bad for the cat. So I don't know what's wrong with some people. They just don't, they don't think. Those questions kept sprouting in my head, like, do they even feed the cat? Is it just here abandoned? Why do they keep it in the house? When we were going to view the second house, I texted my sisters, and then we just started stalking. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie about it. We felt it was necessary. Eventually, we found out that the seller and the agent were the same person, which was so disheartening because to be selling your own home, putting your name on it, and then also just abandoning a cat in the home is insane. I don't know what this seller was thinking. Yeah, we had stalked so much that we found her Facebook profile. Maybe there were some details that could help us come to like some reasoning as to why they left the cat here. After we finished touring the second house, it was still in my mind, and I asked my realtor if she would be able to contact the seller to see if they're trying to rehome the cat or what the situation is with the cat. And she was more than happy to. She was also thinking about the cat, so she did text the seller. Come to find out, the seller actually was trying to rehome the cat. I don't know what they were doing to try to help to rehome the cat. After my sisters and I stalked her profile a little more, we realized that she got divorced. And then my realtor confirmed that, saying that her ex-husband was supposed to rehome the cat, but he never did. I know they had 2 cats originally that they left in the house. I don't know where the other one went. I don't know when it left. What I'm guessing is that the wife took 1 cat and was responsible to rehome that cat, and then the husband was responsible to rehome the cat that we saw in the house. And apparently he just didn't do anything about it. That's why I hate humans. People are so terrible to animals. I don't know. It just threw me off, especially you're the seller, you're putting your name on this house, and it's so easy to find tax records and find who owns the home. I mean, maybe we're just crazy and sane people wouldn't do this, but for animals, I would do anything, okay? Let me get into the info of the cat though, because this ended in a happy story, and the cat's name is Bruce. He is 10 years old, I think, and he is so cute. He's an orange cat. I love orange cats. If I ever got a cat, I would want an orange cat, and I know they're the naughtiest of the bunch, but still, once we got a little more information about him, I was asking my friend who I knew was trying to get a cat, and then I asked my sisters to ask their friends. This is going to be a little bit of a description, so follow through. My sisters
boyfriend's friend, his name I'm blanking on, Bruce's father, we'll call him that, was interested in the cat because I had sent photos, and my sister Grace told me that he had actually recently lost his orange cat. And when Grace showed him the picture, it's to my understanding that he had a wave of emotions because his cat had just passed away, and it was so crazy that now this situation was happening, that this orange cat named Bruce, who looked almost identical to his other cat, appeared out of thin air needing a new home. So we were doing a lot of back and forth chatting with the realtor, my realtor, and then Bruce's dad. It was so complicated because on one end we have Bruce's dad who's willing to take the cat in, and on the other end we have the original owners slash the real seller realtor that abandoned the cat, and then it's my realtor in between trying to communicate with that seller, and then it's me, and then it's my sister Grace here. So you see, it's very confusing. It was very confusing when it was happening. I was here questioning my realtor, who questioned the seller, and then the seller getting back to my realtor, getting back to me, and then I would give that information to Grace, and Grace would pass that information along to Bruce's dad. But at the end of the day, it worked out. Bruce's dad went to pick him up that night, and he no longer had to be a starving, sad, lonely kitty in that house. Can you imagine being isolated in the house? When we toured the house, I didn't see a litter box. Apparently, he did have one. I didn't see it though. I didn't see any cat toys, and they also weren't letting him be released into the wild, which I don't know which is worse. It seems terrible to be trapped in a home, no food, no water, no toys, nothing to do. All you can do is stare at the wall all day, nobody to talk to, nobody to interact with. So we don't know how long Bruce was in the house alone. It was interesting though because my realtor put some food in his bowl and he didn't run up to it, so we thought that maybe he is being fed occasionally. But then when Bruce's dad went to pick him up, he said that Bruce had pooped outside of the litter box. Maybe he was being fed, but then he wasn't taken care of because they weren't changing his litter box. So he had the urge to go outside because cats are clean creatures. They like to keep their spaces clean. Oh, that is a long story time, but it's so crazy how that played out. And I think it seriously was fate that we went to go see that house, even though I knew we weren't going to get it deep down. There were too many issues with it. There was a reason why I was meant to be at that house. And I'm so glad we found Bruce a home. I seriously wanted to bring him home for myself, but then I have 3 rabbits. I don't think that's going to work out with my rabbits and a cat. I've seen rabbits and cats and dogs cohabitate, but I don't want to risk it. And I also don't want any more pets in my life, I think, at least for now or for the next 5 years. I'm really happy that Bruce has a new home. I'm happy that I can get occasional updates from my sister because she's close friends with Bruce's dad. I'll share some photos and updates of him on the screen here if you'd like to see him too. He looks very happy and he's so sweet. This is like one of the biggest highlights in my life. I don't have many, but this is one I'm gonna remember for probably the rest of my life. The day I helped rehome an abandoned cat. Anyway, this is gonna be the end of the video. Thank you so much if you watched all the way, and I'll see y'all in another one.